Hello, everybody. Namaste. Nice you are here. I thought I will talk about something I have been publishing in my newsletter, and which is really relevant to all of us. That is so much information to the extent it has become an overload for us, right? That's a fact. That's a reality that is there. We cannot deny that. But are we aware of the problems it is creating with our attention or with our focus, concentration? Or are we not aware of the damage it is doing and also how to really use it but not be a victim of the information that is flowing at us? Okay. Obviously, some information is very valuable to us, like it is connecting all of us, and it does give us more information about weather and take necessary actions to protect ourselves, and really gives a lot of know-how about about doing things and getting really adjusted to the conditions or learn new things and applicable to us, to our life. So many uses are there for the information. Without the information, possibly we won't be having a good human society where we can eat and shelter ourselves and then wear clothes and be civil to each other and all that. So definitely, information is not the bad thing, but information that is overflowing, that's kind of making us feel like we are really arrested in that, that kind of thing. Is that really happening? And if it is happening, how can we really understand what is our response to this information overload and how we can really make it useful for us and then also not be a victim of that? So I have a very simple solution divided into three parts. One is, what do you do when you wake up, right? Number one. Number two is, what do you do throughout the day? Number three is, what do you do before you go to bed? So in the morning, you wake up, be aware of what is going on, right? Not in your mind about what is going on with your plans, with your desires, with not that, but what actually happening in that moment. And are we connected with it? Are you connected how the weather is? Are you connected to the live plants and animals and people around you? Are you connected to your own mind and body, how they are doing in that moment, right? Not something you imagine, something you remember, not that, but here and now. That means you are not in the past or in the present or in the future, but you are really totally in the present, right? So not your past coming into the present and going to the future, but in the future, what is happening in front of you? Okay, are you aware to the extent that you are connected to the world around you and to your own inner self and outer self? So in the morning, spending some time before we engage our thought to take over, that is what exactly happens. The thought takes over, right? And then it forms its own network. It forms its own train that gets on and never has a stop or break, and goes on into the night, and we sleep on it and we get up again on the same train. So do we have any gap between the thoughts? Do you get in touch with that gap, that silence between the thoughts? Okay. And then when you go out or when you do whatever you do at home or home office or real office outside, whatever you go, are you being attentive to everything that you do? Are you alive? Are you really paying attention? Are you really involved with what is going on? And be with it completely. That is like being in a completely focused mind that may lead to a flow state of working, whereby you are not expending your energy in a lot of thoughts. You can use the thought, but not get immersed by it and then not being attentive to what is going on. So through the day, how attentive you are. That's the second part of it. And the third part of it is at the end of the day, do you reflect on what has happened, how you have reacted, have you looked at them, and then really don't cling on to them, dump them, let them go. I don't think many people doing that are kept doing it or see the value of it. But if you, it's like a dustbin. You use the mind to really accumulate a lot of things, and you never wanted to clean it up. Some people may do meditation, some people may do mindfulness and all that, but they still carry a lot of load in their mind, and they have to do these practices every day. Or is there a way where you don't cling to anything and your mind is clean enough that it doesn't have to be cleaned again and it is clean all the time? Okay. So at least if you can do at the end of the day, every day, that's good. It's better not to cling on to everything as they're happening. So pay attention to one thing at a time, and that is done. You dump it and you go to the other side, right? So hopefully that helps you to understand this much better. Uh, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to come up and ask me at any time during this talk, or you send me some messages. That's fine too. Either way, okay? Now, let's take our mornings. There's a first step, right? What do you do? Do we have the habit of looking at our phone right away? Or do we have some time that we can put the phone away and just be with ourselves? Maybe a few minutes, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. A lot of people cannot keep it away for even half a minute, right? They just have to get onto that and see what is coming up, what is going on in my calendar, what they think that's a kind of good habit to arrange ourselves before we go to fine. But the moment you open that app, you see some information, your thought machine starts to work, and then you'll go from one thought to other thought, and you can never get off of that afterward. In the morning, when you get up, that's a very ideal time to be in that presence without any thoughts going on. Say, thoughtless awareness state. How much can you stay? You can just, there's nothing like a good thing or bad thing, or there's nothing like a you are a good person because you are able to create. No, it's for your own mental stability and mental focusedness. You just want to be in that present moment, awareness, not thoughts, awareness, at least for a few minutes. Establish yourself. One thing may help you is take deep breaths and focus on the sense of touch of the air at the end of the nose. They're called, and then once you feel that, anchor that your attention there, and that way you can be in the present moment. Okay, that's a big help, because the deeper you take the deep breath, the slower your thoughts become. The stream of thought, the running of thought, the scattered thoughts, they kind of slow down. So that becomes easier to really go to one thought and go beyond the thought and stay in that state all the time. Okay, so that's something I do. Excuse me. That is something I do every day in the morning, right? And after you have really stabilized yourself in the present, you can be intentional about what you want to affirm that day, an affirmation, right? You can do that. That's the second process I would recommend, where you say, I am going to be non reactive today. I'm going to be in service of other human beings, or I'm going to be not react to everything, and I'm going to be equanimous. Any of the statements, what you want, you can repeat that. Or you say, I'm going to be very quality oriented at my work, and I will improve my quality one thing at a time. So anything that you want to affirm yourself through the day, and affirm your mind that I'm going to be this way. I'm going to want to spend my day in this way. That's the affirmation. whatever your goals, whatever you want to do, you just write it, repeat it in your mind. That's the second way. First is the breath, second is the affirmations, right? And the third one is very simple again, take a paper or take a device and start um, writing the whatever you want to, you are going through, or you just hoping to achieve all those things. You can write it down in your journal. So it could be like, I'm going to be going to the hospital, seeing my patients, not being impatient with them, trying to show them friendliness, compassion, kindness, and I'm going to be kind and listening to my colleagues and not screaming at them, anything like that, right? So journaling. Okay, that's something a lot of people do. So all your thoughts, everything is emptied out so that they are preserved on the paper. Yeah, it's better to take a pen and paper, write it down, than writing on the device, because writing will bring in a lot of faculties in focus, like your focus, your hand-mind coordination, that gives you holistic way of expressing yourself from the hand, from the brain, and all that, right? So writing on a paper is much better than typing it on a device. Okay. So these three things, you choose any of them to keep your mind here and now, right? Um, that will be good. And then you can also do uh, yogic practices of sitting down and closing your eyes and looking at your thoughts and being aware of the thoughts, and really making the object to you so that you can be the witness of them. And that witness is your awareness. That witness is awareness in the present moment. PMA, present moment awareness. So you can do any or one of these four. There are a number of things that you can do in the morning, and then you pay attention to your bathing, for example. Make sure that you're vigorously rubbing the skin with the soap, so that your immune system activated, and you can be at the same time really be in the moment. Feel the water on your body and feel the vigorous rub and all that. They all bring you to the present moment. Don't go into preparing for the day or recurring from the yesterday. That all can be done later. But at the moment, when you're trying to cultivate to be in the present moment, you want to be here and now. Okay. So there are multiple opportunities. Then you have going to have a breakfast, for example. If you have a breakfast, eat mindfully, eat fruit first, and then eat other things that you are supposed to eat to fill your stomach. But then some maybe processed food, you cannot help it. That's the only thing that is available for you. And then finally, what do? You kind of really be chewing the food, savoring the food, enjoying the food, and then once you are done, then you can get on going with your office. I would recommend for you to be in the moment when you are doing all this preparation to go to work, right? And then as part of that, you can also open up and see what is the schedule, what is coming up, what are the things I need to take to the office, and that kind of keys, whatever, right? All those preparation you can do, right? So start the morning with the presence established in you, and carry that presence like a perfume all day, right? And that's the first part. The second part, what we said was, throughout the day, whatever you take up, be completely attentive to. That means what? You don't want to do multitasking. You want to do one task at a time with complete attention. This works better for you. This gets more quality work done, more work done, and less energy spent on your part. A lot of people go think of different things. They say, I can handle it. Yeah, but you are kind of kidding yourself when you are doing so many things and then really flaring in your attention, and then finally you feel exhausted. You feel, really everything is overwhelming you. So try that. try one task at a time. And suppose, what does it mean? If I go to the office, I open the door and I go and sit in my chair, and then I will put my things away. Then I will open up a computer and see one task at a time. First task may be what are the patient schedule. Second task may be who is the first patient. Then maybe third task is open up his data and study what is going on and get prepared for him. And then don't open up anything except the patient receiving and treating and sending. So like that, whatever you are doing, break into smaller tasks that you would do one task at a time. And that is done, then you go to the next patient, is the same attention. 10 patients like that done, all patients are done, then you are done for the day. I'm just using an example. Anybody can use their own work, whatever they do, right? And having done all that at work, I may go home. I want to relax. I want to do some yoga to get my tension, everything got rid of, or the bodily tension. I may swim. I may do breathing exercises or meditation, whatever. Everybody can do whatever. They may play a tennis game, or I may take a small drink at a bar. Whatever people do, I don't recommend them, but it's up to each one, right? So, in the end of the day, you complete the dinner and then you relax and then you unwind the body first. Take some time. Don't go and sit in front of the TV and look at it. That doesn't produce that. But what it is sit in the sofa or whatever, unwind muscle by muscle. This is where we teach body scanning, or called shavasana, or progressive muscle relaxation, right? And then now is the final step for the third one we talked about. We talked about 3 steps in the beginning, right? What do you do in the morning? What do you do through the day? And what do you do at the end of the day? There, you kind of want to close your eyes, turn your mind inward, and see what is going on there. Be the witness that we are in the morning again, and witness what has happened today. What are the reactions I'm holding on to? What are they? How can I review them and then see what is the validity of them? And if they are not really important, don't cling to them. Dump right away. If they are important, okay, write it down and then dump it out for the night. Okay. Doing this is the very, very important thing for recovering all your mental energy, mental vigor, mental sharpness, everything in the morning, right? When you go to sleep, the natural process of restoring your body and mind to normal state by detoxifying them, right? These thoughts are the toxins, good or bad, That's why don't cling to them. I hope this is clear for you guys, So anybody has any question? I have some friends here on the noon vibe. Mabel is there, and Cecile is there, Christina is there. So anybody wants to come up, you're all welcome. Thanks for being here and really listening to my ramble. But because I like to be most of the day silent and be quiet, but I do want to share my way of doing things, and that's why I come up. And I see the destruction of this information overload. I'm not against the information. I'm not against finding new ways of improving life. What I am saying is some of the things that come at us, we are not paying attention, and thereby we are really not taking care of what we should be taking care of. Here, our attention span is the victim. If you don't do this clinging, unclinging, and all that, if you don't notice that, and you will not be doing a service to your mind to be healthy. So don't consume everything as important, or it is the golden wise, or it is the truth either. So if you really want to help your mind, look at what is important for you and only absorb that, related to that, related stories to that. And also look at the insights of those stories and then only gather the insights. See, That is what is important from the past, right? We don't want to live in the past. Don't want to really go there and then suffer the same reactions we did. Somebody said something we heard, and then we remember we go to the hurt emotionally again. That is unnecessary. That is really non-productive either. But what you want to do is, what is that I learned? The learned lessons or the insights. What are those from that experience? Can I keep them here with me? And then can I really use them for living better next time? So that you have gained wisdom from that living learned experience, right? Once you do that, then that becomes valid, and you don't have to cling to all other data for that, all the details of the story, right? So that way you take what is essential, what is wisdom, and rest of it dump it. So this is an exercise you do with our mind every day, from the time you wake up to the day you go through and at the end of it. How many are we doing? That's all. We have to check it, and then we have to learn to get into this groove and then use it for our own health of the mind. Whether you are mentally ill or not, that doesn't matter. But if you can start to do this, a lot of things will adjust by themselves, and the mind also restored to its original vigor, revitalized, re-energized. That's why when you get up in the morning, if you don't feel really energized, that means you are doing something not right during the day, during the night. That's why you want to learn this. This is part of getting a good night's sleep also. A lot of people don't get into sleep because they are still thinking. Dreams are nothing but you are going to the same thought that were there. They are coming back to you in the dream sequence. Right? Once you are in the morning very attentive to everything, you will notice you are having less dreams than before. Try it out, then you'll find out for yourself. There are lots of times it is happening that people talk a lot, people think a lot, people continue to chatter in their mind a lot. See the relationship? So, if you practice stillness and silence, you don't have the need to talk a lot. Then you experience silence and you taste the amrit. That's like a eternal sweetness, eterness, the goodness of that silence. Then you will be hooked because you are touching something eternal in your silence. Your mind is also silent. But people don't have the good fortune of experiencing the taste of that silence because they always either want to say something or just to answer somebody or listen to somebody with the noise in my mind, and you never learn anything really that way. So experience silence as much as possible. Experience that awareness which is thoughtless state. If you are all the time thoughtless state, what is the need to meditate to get your thoughts into control? That's why to begin with, we want to do meditation because so many thoughts, scattered thoughts, different thoughts, negative thoughts, they are happening all the time. So to have them under control, you start with the deep breathing, you start with witnessing the thoughts, really looking at them objects, then you want to slow the stream, then you want to make one thought and stay with one thought for longer time, maybe minutes and hours according to the experience and capacity. And then again thoughts spring up and then you again want to do that. So it's like a vacuum. Thoughts are coming up all the time, we are trying to put them down. And that could be pretty tiring too after a while. You may get used to it, but pretty tiring after a while, right? So what you want to do is you want to be your original thoughtless state of awareness. And then use the thoughts to do our tasks. But after that is done, learn to uncling from them. Don't cling on to the experience, to cling on to all the thoughts that are not important, but really forgetting the what is the insight, what is the lesson from that. Only keep all this, and then you can come back to the memory later. But coming back to that original pristine thoughtless awareness is the key. That can happen when you understand. Not saying information is bad and I don't want to think at all, versus information is good, but how I'm processing that. Hello, Peter. I think Peter, Christina, I thought they will come up and talk about this. It's okay. But then this is more like a topic that I discuss with my friends all the time. Uh, I hope it adds value to your life if you understand how to be in the present, not only in the morning, but also during the day, and trying to go to sleep in that thoughtless state of awareness when the processes that be the metabolic process for the body, for each organ, and also the brain work better, and you are restored to your original self much better in the morning. And with that energy, you go and take on the tasks of life willingly, happily, and when you're doing them, also the feedback really feeds you and helps you to enjoy your work and your life. Hopefully, all that makes sense to you. And as I began to explore this, I think it was 2008. Information overload was my topic for my thesis for my master's in biomedical informatics. I have an MBA besides the MD. And by the way, I did that MBA, I got that label and everything when I was 60 years old. So I was kind of very happy about it. Of all the things that he knew, the ancient wisdom I value most because they taught me life's lessons, real truths about life. Whereas the sciences of external things like my MD, my MBA are external to me. The science of subjective science of ourselves, myself, inward science, that is from the ancients. That I value that more because how it helped me in my being, how I can be silent, how can I enjoy the beauty around me in the life of the nature and the people and all that, and also how really relate to people and things and the world much clearer, much better for me after the ancient wisdom. It doesn't mean we have to rub it on other people. It just means you relate how you are enjoying that, the joy and the satisfaction, the peace, the happiness is all within us, right? The divine thing is also within us, giving us force with all these things to help our body run, to help our mind run, and all that. So looking for that divinity, going and merging with it is the ultimate joy in my life. For example, it doesn't mean that you become superhuman. It doesn't mean that you are separated from other people. It doesn't mean that. What it means is you are able to, you are blessed to touch that serene, loving, inclusive energy that is within us that can flow into life outside of us. Okay, in that way, I feel like it's a blissful thing that I was blessed to be in touch with that energy, right? And we all have that. See, nobody is an exception. We all have that, but inside, right? So, that famous saying, be still and know your God. The ancients also said that too. Keep quiet and turn inward and touch that energy of divinity that is in you and everywhere. And in that energy, we are all one. So divinity in everyone and oneness of all. Okay, those are the lessons I kind of absorbed from the ancient wisdom, but they did not happen just by listening to them, but having this experiential knowledge of reflecting on them and living them. You may not measure up to that in the beginning, but then observe the inner tension that you are in, and then out of this attention flows. Then attention is not like a concentration. Concentration is a focus on one thing and keeping your gaze on that. But attention is aware of everything, and that awareness, you can also see what you want to see very clearly without any preconceptions, without any conclusions about anything, right? So, so anybody listening or anybody having any doubts or contributions you want to make or ask me any question? It would be nice if you can come and ask me, then I can open up more. Otherwise, I feel like I'm talking to myself. So, but the idea is to share, right? I'm coming here to share. I'm happy just to do that, but then it will be nice to hear from what do you think about it? Does it make sense to you, or uh, is there anything illogical about it, or is there anything that you want to express to me? So this is the opportunity for you to come up. This information overload is going to become much more problem. Even artificial intelligence is going to take a lot of information decisions from us, right? Uh, for a doctor, for example, we used to be like a go-to source for all the people to know the solution for their problem, to have the disease. But now you can get on the phone and you can enter some data, and a lot of ordinary or sometimes something deeper, it can come up with a diagnosis, and also it can come up with solutions. Probably down the line, it will give you prescriptions also. Then you can really much more about your illness, much more about the solutions that you have, and then you can have them applied. Some positions are okay, but sometimes somebody like a trained physician need to be interpreting that all the data and choosing what is appropriate for you, and that stage is there. But it is going to evolve such a way that it can interrogate you, even now it is doing that. The AI system can interrogate you and really break down everything and come to real solution in a very pragmatic way and give you that, and that way you can apply that. Or you could take that information and go to your trusted medical professional and present it to them and discuss with them. And you can both physician patient can come collaborate to make that decision, and then you can follow. Then you feel like you are much more in know-how of what's going on. You are much more about what is to be happening to your body mind by interventions, and you will know more about the interventions, right? That way you feel like you are in charge of your wellness, your body health and mind health and all. And that way I view artificial intelligence, which is modeled upon our human beings think and resolve and all that. I kind of support that. And there is a deeper reason why I support that is all the time and money and energy we spent on our mind chatter, or sometimes maybe misguided by our conceptions, by our prejudices and all that, uh, all that is gone. You don't have to spend time in that unnecessary chatter or cleaning up the chatter and all that. Now you can turn inward and find out who you really are apart from the chattering mind. In that way, AI can be a huge boon for the humanity, provided you understand that and you apply that in your life. So I see the value of that. But if you are like now unaware, scattered, and want more information from the AI, gather that, but then keep it in your mind and go more neurotic than you are now. That is what's happening with the modern explosion of information, right? The handler of information may not be trusted, AI may not be trusted, and then you will be in doubt and you will be conflict too. On the other hand, as the scientists refine the way information technology is operating on its own, the more it is empowered, it can really help you or it can harm you in the wrong people's hands, right? And the peoples who are designing these algorithms, they are already doing that through the algorithms, right? People are influenced by that. But if you are independent of that, and if you look at it from distance, you know what is what, it won't affect your attention span. It won't affect you at all. So people are who are like that, they will say, okay, this is only thought-based built system, but I'm beyond the thought. I am the energy behind it. Let me know and settle on there. But my mundane things, a lot of things I need in my life, they can do everything. Like for example, you come to a room, your computer is on, you want to go to the program you want to go to. Suppose you are reading something, and then you want to open up your Kindle, and Kindle, the book you want, you can, with the thought, you can indicate to the computer, and then it will bring it up to you, and then you can put it there, and then you can have speech if I read it to you, and then you can listen and learn and enjoy. So you can have your speed and increase the reading speed, and then you can put it down. Then you can get into your reflection of the book and see what are the main things the author was saying, what are the things that I kind of know in my own experience, or can I go and explore that. But the whole thing, all the mundane things of getting your computer ready, getting your book ready, getting your programs ready, can be done by the artificial. That's the automation, right? I am learning that. How do I use these programs to automate the things I want to do? For example, I want to communicate with my friends all over the world. I can ask them, okay, arrange a live Zoom program for all the people at convenient for different regions of the time for in the country or in the world, and then arrange maybe 2 or 3 in a day that I can do. So I don't have to wake up in the middle of the night, or record it and present it to them at the convenient time, whatever. I can tell all that, it will do that for me. That's a chat bot, right? I can create all these tasks and tell them, I learned that. I'm going to do that pretty soon, And then you will take advantage of the technology, but your essential goal is to relate to people, to convey something helpful for them. Finally, relieving the suffering caused by unawareness, ignorance, or just plain laziness, or don't want to learn and then want to suffer, then only want to learn. So many variations are there. But my aim is, how can I help to reduce that suffering greatly? You get it? Then I can use the AI, the high technology, respect it, but learn what I can learn from that, and also protect myself from the excesses of any system, right? That is the case with all the medications are prepared, but then medication bases are varied. So one time, what is effective for my patient, the same medication has a different base and doesn't work. I've seen so many times, simple blood sugar control that happened with very well with a traded drug, expensive, but insurance company, we don't pay that much money. We're going to change the base, and they change the base and to produce a much cheaper variety. And they say, your doctor may have recommended you this high branded drug. We're going to not pay for it. We're going to put the same medication in a different base. Because of the base change, that did not work. It's an actual factual story. People who had high blood sugar controlled by one drug, the same chemical was there, but the base was changed, and that medication did not work for them as effectively as it was before. Though they came back and say, oh, my blood sugar is going out of whack. I'm dieting, I'm exercising, I'm taking the medication, but it's going out of whack. What's going on? Then we know they did not get the medication, the trade medication that we gave, because it is supposed to be costly, and they want to throw something cheaper they develop by themselves, and then they don't want to pay for it. In their view, we are saving money. But in our view, you are harming the patient by allowing his blood sugar to go out of control. See? This is all we can understand. The commerce, the greed of the drug company or insurance company, or the carelessness about health of the patients. The only aim is to make money, not to help the people to live a better, healthy, well life, right? So, as a doctor, my job is to make sure my patient is well and living long and in joy, not just taking medication, control a number, and then not have a quality of life. That's not wellness to me. That's like more like a fixing a band-aid and then not allowing the wound to heal, right? So, I mean, these are all issues in the medical field and the healthcare field, and we all know about that, right? So since nobody is coming, and I will end the call here because I don't want to go on talking about it unless there is a discussion, which is not. It's not fun to continue just to talking to people, without knowing whether they are listening. Anything is going in, anything is making fun or nothing. Okay. So I will see you later. Probably I will have to do independent channels. So I'll be doing independent live programs on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on X, and also on YouTube. Uh, so that way, maybe more people I can interact there too. So Noom Vibe is something I interact, but today nobody is coming. So I will end it at this time, and I will see you back again later. Okay, bye bye.